Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? The Devils fall to the Winnipeg Jets. Final score 4-3. The New Jersey Devils, they now drop to, I just had their record up. They dropped to 27, 24, and 2. I don't care that the Winnipeg Jets have been playing kind of out of their minds lately. I don't care that they're, 6-2-2 in their last 10. Whatever the case may be. You can't lose a game to the 29th ranked team in the NHL standings wise, in front of all these alumni, all these legacy Devils that won cups before you, that carved this team and this franchise into a dynastic. They are the foundation of those dynastic roots. And you embarrass yourselves in front of those guys tonight. The New Jersey Devils falling to, again, the 29th ranked Winnipeg Jets, who are 21, 24, and 7. And you are now 27, 24, and 2 on the season, 53 games into this season. But I can't talk about any of this till I know that we are live. So somebody let me know in the comment section below if we are live, and we will go ahead and get to what was a very, very intriguing day in Devils land, right? Only the Devils, only the 2025-26 Devils can follow up what is, in many ways, like a solution to what seemed like a lot of their problems in getting rid of the Andre Palat contract and followed up with a complete dud like that. But I digress. Before we get into this video, guys, we want to thank our friends over at New Spine for sponsoring us here on Speaking of the Devils. With 7 locations, they are New Jersey's leading institute for minimally invasive spine surgery. Live your best life pain-free. Visit newspine.com. That's nu-spine.com to find a location near you. Do not forget that dash in the middle, nu-spine.com. A tremendously weird day for the New Jersey Devils. It seemed like a lot of players were shocked in the post game and asked about the Andre Palat trade. Obviously, that's the backdrop of what happened today, and then obviously followed up by a 4-3 wet blanket of a loss to the Winnipeg Jets. I think in a lot of ways, you see on the little winometer and everything like that, like analytically, the Devils may have outplayed them, and I know they got a lot of chances there at the end. It was kind of a mad dash to the finish, and they almost came back. But at the end of the day, the results are what the results are, and the results are 4-3 loss to the Winnipeg Jets, and the results are a crap ton of odd man rushes against that you give up defensively. That was brutal. Jake Allen didn't have his best game either. Let's see what he finished with on Money Puck, almost -2 goals save above expected. Brutal numbers from him. There's a couple bright spots here. Lenny Aminaho getting his second career NHL goal. He stays on fire. I think he has 4 points that's coming up. That line stays on fire. But oh, by the way, that line loses one of their key cogs too in Cody Glass. So this was just an all-time, just a letdown after what was a great, start to the day. I mean, you get rid of the Andre Palat contract. You don't have to retain anything on it. You get back a player that's, pretty much a flyer that you take a flyer on, a lottery ticket, if you will. But then, then this game happens, and all the good feelings of that are pretty much gone. We won't go goal by goal. We'll just go through some of the, I guess key takeaways from this game. The Scheifele goal, that started things off. Again, it came like a minute and a half in, so that's just kind of a tone setter for this team. Which has had a lot of setting the tone for what was another bad night for the Devils. And they've given up the first goal in a crap ton of games this year, and they do it just a minute and a half in. And then this comes on a brutal, one of the worst line changes you'll ever see. I mean, the coaching staff, so that felt like a fireable offense right there. I'm not going to fire them for that. But my God, that's the kind of, feels like top to bottom, out of sync nature of this Devils team this year. And that's when you get, you get results like you have tonight. You get results like you have tonight coming off of a stretch, and the result from the other day against the Seattle Kraken, after a stretch during which the team won 5 out of the last 6 games. And I told you guys at the time that this just feels like what streaky, middling teams do, right? They'll win a couple games. They'll win 5 out of 6. They'll win 6 out of 7, et cetera, et cetera. But then they come right back down to earth. They come hurt, crashing down. And they can never seem to gain any momentum. Like it's the timeliness of it too, right? Like if they beat Seattle the other day, they would have been 1 point out of the playoffs. They can't do that. Now they're climbing even further down. And they can never get into ground. And that's the problem with this Devils team this year. Is like you don't get any synergy there. You don't get any synergy. They don't take advantage of these opportunities that they need to take advantage of, and they're not taking advantage of them. Other key takeaways. I mean, look, the finishing was just abysmal again. Timo with 2 great opportunities in the first, can't connect. Nico and Brad had a nice little 2-on-1 there, can't connect. Jack had 2 prime chances at the end of that first period, I think it was, can't connect. Sandwich in between all of that was the Lenny Aminaho goal, beat Hellebuck 5-hole. That was good. But then you just got a scoring onslaught from the Winnipeg Jets there. You got Gabe Velarde, got Koepke, and then you got Nino Niederreiter scoring there as well in the second period, all in the second period. Bratt, of course, when the team is down, it seems like all the time, like he just scores whenever the team is trailing by like 3 or 4 goals or something like that. Happened again tonight. He gets a goal. I think what is that on the season for him? That is his 12th on the season. Hamilton extends his point streak to 9 games. The Devils make a bit of a comeback effort at the end there. Nico Hischier scores one, a nice little goal for him to get a goal. But in the end, it just wasn't enough. The Devils fall again 4-3 to the Jets, lose their 24th game in regulation, and drop to 27-24-2 on the season. So again, some fine takeaways. You'll take the Lenny stuff, but the negatives, and you'll take the plot trade, getting that awful contract off your books. But in the end, the negatives just completely outweigh the positives, which has been far too many times the case for this New Jersey Devils team. And look, you get it's the Cody Glass. Like, what happens with that going forward? What can this new kid bring to the lineup? All of these questions will be answered in the coming days. Between the what's the other one? The who's going to be the alternate captain? I asked Sheldon Keefe that after the game. He said he hasn't given it any thought. 100%. He said 0% thought so far. Probably going to be Jesper Bratt, but we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened with the Devils today. Let's go to dive into your comments section. Okay, let's go dive into your lovely comments. We start here with, of course, the super chatters. Guys, if you want to get a comment answered ASAP, ask me or send in a super chat. I'm gonna put in a little goal here. I'm gonna put in a little goal here just to see if we can get people to contribute to the channel. When you contribute to the channel, guys, you help me go on the road. I know. Look. Local journalism everywhere is seemingly like on its last legs, right? You see the Washington Post, their sports department is going under. It seems like that's what all the reports are saying. Keep supporting local journalism, please, because in the end, like if you want me on the road trips asking these tough questions, I want to be on the road trips asking those tough questions, and we can't do that without your support. And you guys have been so supportive so far, so I'm not lecturing you, but keep it going, keep it going. So let's say support local journalism. My God, I can't even spell it. You shouldn't support that local journalism. I can't even spell journalism. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right, set the goal. Now let's dive into the comments. And we start here, of course, with Zach Chin. Question of the day, who should get the A? I know that the obvious answer is Jesper Bratt. Right, because he always wears it whenever he's one of the more prominent players in the team. He always wears it whenever I feel like Plot's out of the lineup or one of the A's is out of the lineup. I feel like that's like if there's a betting favorite to be Bratt. I would consider giving it to a guy like Dylan or giving it to a guy like Connor Brown. Right, these are two guys in Connor Brown we know stepped up during one intermission this year. I think it was the Columbus game. He gave them a fiery speech that charged them back to a comeback win, right, in Columbus when the team was really like almost at rock bottom. I would consider it, even if he's new on the team. Who cares? He's got some, he's got playoff pedigree. He clearly is a voice in that room. Why not? The other guy I would consider is Dylan, another voice in that room that, when the team was at rock bottom after the 9-0 loss to the Islanders, there were 3 guys that spoke after that game. It was Nico. It was Jacob Markstrom, and it was Brendan Dillon. Okay, and I don't even know if anybody requested Brendan Dillon. I think he was just one of the ones that came out to speak. So I would consider that too. I mean, he's obviously someone that you've seen his interviews. Like he just throws. I mean, he's you look up leader in the dictionary, and like you'll see a picture of Brendan Dillon. It seems like I would consider those two, but I feel like Brat probably will get it. And that's not to say he doesn't deserve it. Not at all. Like he does, and he's well respected in that room. I think it should be a legitimate conversation, shouldn't it? Let's move on. Sonic 9123, bye bye Palat, celebration super chat. So what do you do with Siplikov? Play him with who or send him to the AHL and get cap space? I would play him. I would play him to see what you have. Look, you could bury him in the A to get that cap space for sure. It's a tempting option, but unless you're going to do something immediately with that cap space, then I think you're better suited just playing with him. I'm talking to my man, so Anthony Fucilli, MSG Network, great. He was giving us. He obviously watches more Islanders games than me and the disgusting James Nichols do. And he was giving us the rundown on Siplikov tonight, and he was just telling us basically like this is a guy that they were playing him on the fourth line this year, and that's not necessarily his skill set. Like he's more of a top 9 guy. So I'm intrigued to see what his fit here is with the Devils. I say you throw him in and see what he could do. Get a different forward in there other than Luke Glendening. Of course, that's the ideal goal. And like right now, they can't really sacrifice anybody because Cody Glass is now hurt, and we don't know what the extent of that injury is going to be. So we'll see. I mean, look, he blocked a shot. It looked really nasty. He was really slow to get up. So yeah. Let's see. Boker's Humana, fire Rogalski. The campaign continues. Every single goalie seemingly plays better when they leave the New Jersey Devils organization. Asked Martin Brodeur today because he spoke before for the John McClain stuff. So I asked him, a question. As a person that is also part of the front office, you have to ask him the question about the goaltending situation and how bad it's been this year. So he answered. You can go watch that video on my YouTube on the YouTube channel. I posted that earlier today. But look, I think that if they're. It worked for the Islanders, right? It worked for the Islanders. It worked for Sorokin. They fired their goalie coach and immediately got Vezina-level play out of Sorokin, who was struggling at the beginning of the season. So I would say, yeah, that would, if you want a spark plug in net, why not? Dominic Rendazzo just sends $2 to be supportive. Thank you so much for that, Dominic, and thank you to all of our super chatters tonight, guys. Keep going, keep supporting. All right, let's dive into the regular comments now. If you guys don't have any more super chats, if you do, that would be great. Tyler Seba, how many more crap games do we need to see from a goalie before we call up someone else? Yeah, and those two goalies down in the A are balling too. Malik is balling. He just posted another incredible game, and I don't have the exact numbers up on the top of my head, but you guys can look them up. Nico Dawes has been playing well. I believe last time I checked, Yegorov has been playing well too. Obviously, you can't bring him up. But look, there are seemingly better options down in the pipeline. I understand you just gave both of these goalies extension, but at some point, like with the Palat move, swallow your pride and move on. I know that you can't move on in a meaningful way right now. You can't buy him out, and you certainly can't trade Markstrom. But when you have better options down in the A, weigh all your options, man. Tyler Seba, it's not all on Allen, but he certainly did not help. I agree with that. Captain CHC, Fitz did it. He moved Palat for a bag of pucks. He is so back. I gave Fitz credit where credit was due. This is a decision that was I didn't think that he would make, nor did I think that he could make it because I didn't think there would be much interest for Palat. Luckily, he took advantage of the he tugged on the heartstrings of Matthew Darch, and was able to get a deal done. And by tugging on the heartstrings, I mean playing into that connection that he had with Palat back in his Tampa days. So that was good. That's a good piece of business for Fitz, especially getting off of the contract, and not doing and not having any retention on it. That's incredible. I'll give up the draft picks any day. I mean, look, with the drafting the Devils have done lately, you're not really missing out on anybody anyway. Is this a decision that follows into the thing that I've been bringing up for weeks now, that the Devils do things 6 months too late? Yes, this is another feather in that cap. But we can't complain because, I mean, they finally did it. Christy97, do you think there's anything to that article saying that the Wild wants Hischier? I'm sure that the Wild want Hischier. Whether he's available or not is another question. I don't think he is. I think that if Nico Hischier survived the Quinn Hughes sweepstakes, that Nico Hischier is going to survive any sweepstakes. That is not Tom Fitzgerald one day deciding, oh, okay, that's it. I'm blowing up the core on my way out, and I don't want to do this. Let's completely blow it up. We need a Matthew Tkachuk level trade. So that's the only way that I see Nico leaving, unless again it's an offer they can't refuse, which I feel like Quinn Hughes was an offer you kind of couldn't refuse. So I don't know. Let's see. We'll take a couple more here. We'll keep this one a bit short just because we streamed already today. We already took some from Tyler. Future man, one of the few bright spots this season has been Ham and Grits. Yeah, great nickname for that line. And just love the chemistry between those two. I'm excited. I'm eager to get back to practice at some point this week because I want to do some digging on this Haminaho guy. I mean, he's been awesome. Been a complete spark plug for this team. Wish that they were getting more of the results that to come with it. Because I think that now they're 0-2 whenever he scores in games. Like it's like obviously that's that's just a complete coincidence. He's been awesome. He's been stellar. But certainly just a candidate for being a spark plug. But it's another decision that maybe the Devils made a little bit too late. Sonic says Dougie and Cotter must have been shaking their heads after this one. Yeah, I mean that was a bad game from Dougie. I don't care that you extended the point streak to 9 games. I don't care. There were like 2 of the 4 goals that Winnipeg scored tonight were squarely on Dougie pinching when he shouldn't have pinched. Bad from Dougie. Let's take one more. Future Man says, Ham and Grits are the type of complementary players you win cups with. We just have to straighten out the rest of the roster, starting with our goaltending. Yeah, there is little doubt about that. I mean, the goaltending needs a Colorado-like retooling there. And the rest of the roster, too. I mean, there's just a lot of low points in this, a lot of dark spots in this roster that you can clearly see. There's just a need for them there. It's almost like there's just like placeholders on this roster, like a Dadanov in the top 6, Paul Cotter in the bottom 6. Like it's almost just screaming like replace me with serviceable players. And let's see if Fitzgerald with cap space now can get that done. We have another super chat and then we'll round out the show. Zach Chin, is it true Keefe doesn't talk in intermissions? Yes, that is true. He's mentioned that earlier this year. I was stunned when that happened. I mean, there have been so many times where you hear stories about like, oh, X player, the Jack gave an intermission speech that was a kick in the ass, et cetera, et cetera. And you ask Sheldon Keefe about it after the game, and he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm not there during the intermission. I think some coaches do that. I don't think this is something that's, out of the ordinary across the league, but it is a little interesting. Maybe he's just, a little more hands off. It could be good, could be bad. Whatever he's doing, he should do the opposite of what he usually does because he's not getting the results from this team. And that's just a fact. I mean, look, you get some good results. You get the 5 out of 6 wins. Great, fine, whatever. But lately, it's what have you done for me lately? We have a show to do today. And today, the result was less than stellar. Again, I just spit at the camera. Again, in front of some of your most prestigious alumni. Again, we're part of the dynastic roots of this franchise. So for the Devils to come away tonight without any points is just a disappointment to do in front of them on John McClain night. Guys, that'll do it for us here on Speaking of the Devils. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to our super chats, as always. We appreciate you. We appreciate you all, but we appreciate the super chatters a little bit more. We'll go live after Thursday's game. They played the Nashville Predators. So yeah, I thought I was going to take off for that for the Oklahoma State versus Penn State outdoor hockey game, but I'm not going to do that because duty calls. Duty calls. I got to be here for this Devils team. I mean, things are at a crossroads right now. I'm just filibustering until we get to exactly 20 minutes. So let's see. What else can I talk about? It was really hot in the press box today. It was uncharacteristically hot in the press box today. Also, they had really good food before. It was like steak tips. And that's my cue to leave. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Have a good day.